This is an open letter for Mr. Elon Musk and the Sane Society. And bravo, Mr. Musk. You know, of the Bravo series. Hopefully, Wells Fargo will let me keep my account open. So, bravo to another one of Uncle Sam's managers. Bravo, Mr. Elon Musk. You're doing a great job. Oh, you have secured your place in the history books. However, you do have to agree that from time to time you could be wrong. It's not like, great, everything is great. Bravo, but from time to time you can be wrong. And for one thing, this Twitter that you help keep a little more open than the other Western social media. I don't know if you can call it saved, but you help keep it a little more open than the other social media that is available. Okay, thank you very much. For one thing, you have to admit that you're sometimes wrong. And naming this, just the name Twitter and turning it into, something you pull out of your backside, nobody likes it. As in, like, you can't be the only one who's right about choosing a name X, which absolutely no one likes it, except, I guess the people who work for you. They can't say they don't like it. Salute. Their paycheck depends on it, but absolutely no one likes it, and everybody still refers to it as Twitter for a very simple reason that just comes out much more pleasant. Twitter instead of X. Anyway, so this just shows you that from time to time you could be wrong, and insisting on being right, that I am right, it's what brings back the concentration camps. Insisting on I am right no matter what is what has led to nobody admitting that maybe we are wrong. There's a chance that we are wrong, and those who, after committing a certain crimes, and then suddenly they realize there was a 1% chance that I'm doing wrong, they commit suicide. They put a bullet in their own head because the whole idea of Hitler shooting himself in the head at the end is sort of like, I'm still not going to say I was wrong. So I'm gonna shoot myself so I don't have to sit in a court of law and admit that I was wrong. This whole idea was nonsense to start with. So you need the humbleness that from time to time you forget to admit from time to time that I could be wrong. Starting from the name X, please. Twitter is much more pleasant and to say and hear, and that one example shows that you're wrong, but you don't want to admit it. Anyway, now my main point again. Bravo, Mr. Elon Musk, for keeping Twitter freer than others, more open than others of Western origin. However, I saw some time ago that you took away the check mark of the rulers of Afghanistan some time ago. You took away their check marks and you closed this account and you closed that account, and no, we're not going to officially recognize you, and shut up, we don't want to hear you. Here's the thing, Mr. Musk. This is what I mean is you don't accept that you may be wrong even 1% of the time. You just don't accept that. It's not in your blood to accept that you could be wrong. But here is where you're wrong, sir. Imagine there's a tribe of cannibals. There are still some, but let's imagine we don't have any. And imagine, these cannibals just landed on Earth from Mars. Now, you see some things that they do bad. They cannibalize, other intelligent creatures, like themselves, even their own tribe. So, what do? Do you say, no, we are not going to talk to you because you are cannibals? You do realize that the first missionaries from Europe, when they would arrive to these new places with these, unknown tribes minding their own business, the missionaries, the European missionaries, when they would go there, the first thing that they have to do, if they want to say, okay, don't cannibalize, do it like this, here's my book, says how you should live, and cannibalism is not part of it. In order to do that, they first had to fucking communicate with those tribes. In order to, you say your way is right, okay. Your way supposedly is right. But do you understand that you first have to respect the tribe? You can't go kill the tribe if you want to change the tribe. First you have to respect the life and wealth of the tribe. If you want to go show them the right way, you go between them or you go right next to them. Get an empty piece of land, not a land that's already people living in it. Get an empty piece of land next to the tribe and learn to communicate with the tribe. So until the point at which you have clear communication with them, so you can show the right way, that is, don't do cannibalism. That's the worst case scenario, right? Creatures, intelligent creatures who still do cannibalism. But we should remember that animals are all cannibals. The carnivores, most of the time they're cannibals. They are cannibals because, when you're short on calories, eventually, certain issues are overcome. But my point is this. But naturally humans are cannibals because we are also carnivores. So in order to avoid that, because you can't really build a society, a large society around, if you have cannibalism as part of it, because large societies, shit don't work. Anyway, the point is this. You have to communicate with them. You have to accept them as they are. If you want to change them for a better, you have to accept them as they are. Get close to them, communicate with them, and you put your cards on the table and tell them that why they should not continue cannibalism, and they put their cards on the table, and hopefully one of you can convince the other side that their way is better. Salute. I'm sorry, not respecting Taliban, not accepting Taliban, it's just like not respecting Putin. The whole thing between Mr. John McCain and Mr. Lindsey Graham, the whole soundbite that they came up with was that Russia is a gas station with nuclear weapons. That's the ultimate disrespect. China, disrespect. You motherfuckers are only allowed to produce, our plastic goods, cheap goods. We only do the expensive stuff. You continue doing the cheap stuff, or else we consider you as a threat. If you start producing what we produce, the high-end products, then you're a threat. Your aviation industry is a threat to Boeing. However bloated Boeing is, that's fine. But you shouldn't have an aviation industry in China. So now that you do have, that's a threat to us. Who is us? Boeing. It's not Joe Schmo shit six-pack. No, it's Boeing. Joe Schmo six-pack is not threatened by China. He's barely making ends meet in his home village in Oklahoma somewhere. But, he has no beef with China, but Boeing does. They're cutting. The Chinese it was bad enough they had to share the market with Airbus. Now they have to share the market with these motherfuckers? No. Let's go bomb them. They're a threat. I got away from my main point. My point is this, that the first step in saying that if you recognize the other side as normal, so you have normal relations with them. Even if you don't consider the other side as normal, you still have to first steps respect them, and second step try to communicate. Even if they don't want to communicate, you have to, if you want to change them, you have to want to communicate, not bomb them, communicate with them. So not only you don't communicate, not only you advocate for not communicating with Taliban over the Twitter, but by changing the algorithm so nobody hears of them, but also you're disrespecting them by removing their check marks. Dude, do you want to change these folks or you don't want to change these folks? First step in changing anybody, maybe on the other hand, maybe you have to change. Maybe you are falling from the other side of the roof. Maybe you're too far to the left. So this, conversation that it takes place, a lot of your lefties that are, that are thinking really outside the box, a lot of them, if they go as a tourist to Afghanistan, they won't be so lefty anymore. And a lot of your righties that are falling off the other side of the roof, if they go to Afghanistan as a tourist, maybe they won't be so righty anymore. My point is this, that it also serves you. In a way that if your way is truly the right way, first of all, if you believe your way is truly the right way, first you have to respect the other side, to go talk to them. You can't change anybody by throwing dirt at them or by punching them. What punching is going to solve? You don't change people by punching them, you just force them to submit. And apparently this is, the common understanding in pink-skin societies at the higher echelon, is that the only way to change people is by punching them. So we have to have a big military to go punch everybody. Are you fucking kidding me? Be able to, so they're scared of our punch. We don't want to punch them. What we want to have such a big dick that they wouldn't have to get to be punching them. They would be scared of our big dick, not to submit. The idea that no, we can only change them by force. No, my friend, the simplest way of changing people is by respecting them and having contact with them. Respecting them enough, returning their check mark as an official body of a tribe of cannibals living on that shithole in the middle of Central Asia. By respecting them enough that, yes, you say you're the official representative of these fucking tribes over here. Okay, here's your check mark. What the fuck do you have to say? And then first respecting them, and then if change is important, changing them is important, in communicating with them more, not less. And then you say why, these NPR reporters are no longer on Twitter. They don't converse on Twitter. These guys have left. Those guys, dude. When you say free speech, absolutism, but in action you don't respect the official government of Afghanistan, what motherfuckers who wanted to be in charge? I don't care if they're legitimate or not. They have the power, so you work with them. If you want to change them, not by force, but by communicating with them, because it's much easier to change people when you communicate with them. Respect them, communicate with them, and then leave it to time. Not everybody in that tribe are going to become Christian on the first day that the fucking missionary arrives. The fucking missionary is living over there with the fucking tribe for decades before he can turn the tribe Christian, and for decades, and do good for the tribe. Provide medicine, whatever he can, just showing that you're such a good guy, then that your religion must be a great religion. Then if they want to convert, fine. If they don't want to convert, the missionary continues. Or, marries one of the women from the tribe. In that way also gets close. Changing cultures, belief systems we're talking about decades and decades and decades. Decades and decades and decades of communication, respectful communication. You take away the Taliban's first the right of communication. Second, you disrespect them by removing the check mark. This is basically saying we came. This is what you're saying. We came over there to forcefully change you and force you to submit to our ways. Because you resisted and you didn't agree to submit to us and do things our way, we are not going to talk to you. Not only we are not going to talk to you, we are not going to respect you either. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, you were expecting change out of good coming out of this? Are you kidding me? We came to do a bad thing, and that is to forcefully change you. Very wrong-headed kind of idea. You can't even forcefully change your children who are living in your house 20 hours a day or 15 hours a day. Your own children are living in your house 15 hours a day, and from time to time you realize that you can't change them. You can influence them, but that only happens by communicating more with them, not less. And that's the thing. I understand also with you and that son that decided to, I guess, he decided to change his sex. How much communication was taking place before this matter? How much do you know your sons? I'm not saying you're doing a bad thing by, devoting yourself to the advancement of human race, but if you really don't get to spend time, spend time with people, you really don't know them. And you really can't change them into your way, assuming your way is the right way. First comes communication. First comes respect. Second comes communication. That means first you give back the check. Again, I'm not an Afghan. I'm not getting paid by the Afghan government. No, I'm just saying you give the check mark back to the Afghans because that's a logical thing to do. That's the first sign of respect. And then you make sure you communicate one line with them at least every day. One logical line that, for example, hey, dude, you do understand that you have females, and if you don't have female doctors, then you are gonna have to have male doctors put their hand all over your females. Does that sound better, or does it sound better that these females become doctors as well? So, your females at least don't have to go to a male doctor. This is the kind of thing they understand. But unless you don't respect them and you don't communicate with them, how the fuck they're going to get it? How the fuck they're going to be shamed or shook into taking a more logical position with regards to their tribes, with regards to their population? Go sit in a corner and we are not going to talk to you doesn't change anything. It's like, again, my mind goes to Helen Keller. By not teaching a deaf and dumb student, there's nothing there to learn. Imagine you have the Taliban, you have a deaf and dumb student who can't talk, who can't hear, who can't see. Can't talk, can't see, can't hear. Helen Keller. How the fuck you're going to change this if you can't communicate? Now there is Twitter. You can communicate and you can show respect through just the fucking app in order to invite them to sit down and break bread. And you say, no, we don't want to respect you. We're going to remove your check mark. And, and before that, we decided we're not even going to talk to you because, we don't agree with you. How many missionaries do you know are successful at their missionary work if they sit at home and say, nope, I don't agree with you, you don't believe in Jesus, so I'm not going to talk with you. No, Mr. Elon Musk, you're wrong. You're wrong. And in this instance, you're wrong. Just like naming Twitter X, you are wrong. In this instance, also you're wrong. Anything like this, any group of people whose identities, at least geographic location can be confirmed, should be allowed to speak on Twitter, recognized, respected, and allowed to speak. Even the cartels, Mexican cartels, they should have an account. They should be recognized as players in the world. Maybe they like to say some things. Maybe they like to say that, hey, our people are very poor, and here's a video of our people. They're very poor, and by this, being in drug business, we have a chance to make our people wealthier, come out of poverty. I'm saying, for example, it's you gotta hear them, and in order to hear them, you first have to respect them, and before respecting them comes recognition. First you recognize, then you respect, then you communicate, then you change. Then change comes with the package. You don't really have to force change upon anybody. Recognize, respect, communicate, change will come. I mean, bravo, Mr. Musk, with regards to Twitter, but you said absolute, it should be absolute. And all organization must be respected. And you personally should try to communicate with anybody you like to change more. You have to communicate more with. You don't just communicate with your friends because that ends in war. You communicate with your enemies who you're trying to change. And we know that, Uncle Sam's managers don't want the war in Ukraine to stop because they have stopped talking with the Easterners. The Westerners have stopped talking with the Easterners. The Easterners had some concern with regards to some property there, and the Westerners said, no, we're not going to listen to any kind of reason or logic. We're not going to accept you have, bread lines that you fear us just as much as we fear you, so we have to somehow compromise and continue communicating, so in order to alleviate everybody's fear. No, they said, fuck you, Putin, fuck you, Russia, we're going to attack you, or we're going to take over a piece of land that is near and dear to you, and then have you attack us after we have taken it over. We took it over politically. Now it's up to you. If you want it, you have to attack militarily, because we took it over politically. We put all our guys over there at the top echelon, and especially the president, and nobody can change him now until we have peace. That legislature in Ukraine is rigged. Who the fuck? The legislature have voted that until there is peace, we can't have a new president? Who the fuck votes like that? Who the fuck comes up with such a legislature? So if you have war for 20 years, this motherfucker is going to be president for 20 years? With no change in direction? Are you fucking kidding me? Nope. No, the path we are going is just fine. We are losing about, couple of thousand people every week. But that's the path we want to go down to, and we don't want any other, because this is again that sickness of you don't even give 1% chance that you're wrong. I'm sorry, Mr. Elon Musk. Exactly your line of thought is the same line of thought that these people who have come up with the situation in Ukraine and Israelis at this point are not giving even 1% chance that they may be wrong. Not even 1%. That's the problem with faith. The religious books, every one of them is 100%. Those who believe in religious books are always 100%. And you're like, dude, could it all be, could 1% of this book be bullshit? And the guy is sort of like, no, it's 100% true. That's the same kind of view that I Elon Musk, I'm 100% right. Every time, all the time. We Israelis, we are 100% right. Therefore, even we can even kill their children because we are, 100% right. You got to be brainwashed to think you're 100% right all the time. You got to be brainwashed in superiority, to superiority. That's the thing with this racial superiority, that it's not based so much on, it's mostly based on fate. And this racial superiority is based on fate mostly. Based on, we are 100% of the time, we are smarter than the other side. Or being smarter and not being physically fit is better. And see, I'm giving more value to being smarter than having emotions, or giving more value of being smarter than having physical fitness. concentrating on brain more than concentrating on the physique or the emotion. Again, you're giving yourself, you're 100% sure that having a better brain, higher IQ is 100% of the time better. And the higher IQ, the better it is. Not really. People with really high IQs, eventually they go, paranoid and they go mad. We all know that. So, what is the correct level of IQ? Again, if a good physique can provide you a very good life as well, very enjoyable life. So it's just the idea that we are right 100% of the time is the idea that gets you humans in trouble. And a lot of these 100% of ideas are racial and religious. Religious because the book is 100% of the time correct, my religion is 100% of the time correct, and racial, my race is 100% of the time better, and every time my race is better. Fuck, in the 20s, 30s, whenever it was, the white folks saw that the black folks are much better at sports, so they literally said, nope, you can't play with us. Even after after all the racial issues, separation and segregation, even after that, still they didn't want to let they forced black folks to have their own basketball leagues and their own baseball leagues. Why? To perpetuate this lie that we are 100% better. So we're gonna hide the evidence that says otherwise. That's the thing with you not allowing the Taliban to speak. We are right 100% of the time, and we're going to hide Taliban, cut their voice, so it wouldn't become clear that we may be wrong 1% of the time. We're not going to even take a chance. We're going to shut them up. And that goes back to why did bin Laden wasn't taken to court? Was that because we are right 100% of the time, there is no reason to take this motherfucker to court because there might be 1% chance that it may come out that maybe we weren't right, and that's that can't be. We are right 100% of the time. Only those previous presidents and those previous wars were wrong. Current wars are 100% right. Oh fuck. Do you see where I'm going with this? I would have loved to hear what the motherfucker has to say. I have a feeling it's just he was an evidence that the system wanted to hide because there was 1% chance that we would have said something that would have shown that white people weren't right 100% of the time. Maybe 1% they were wrong, and that couldn't be tolerated. So we're going to shoot him and drop him in the ocean. I'm not sure even that has happened. I mean, he may have been relocated and is living under an assumed identity in Chicago. Who knows? Epstein could be living under assumed identity. Why not bin Laden? My point is this, that you go down really dark roads by not accepting that maybe we are not 100% right. World War II, the Germans, Hitler, you know, there was no challenge apparently that maybe we are not 100% right. Maybe our grievance is right. Maybe this is not the right way to go about it. Again, you just have to accept that sometimes you're wrong. And in this case, you're wrong, sir. Afghans should have official Twitter accounts, should be recognized, should be respected, and above all, should be communicated with. If you really mean well, if you really are looking for good, but on the other hand, if you're just, your objective is domination and they rejected your domination, then you feel upset and you send them to stand in the corner until they come and apologize. And they're proud of their heritage, their history. They're never going to apologize. So you're going to continue staying far apart until another day you feel strong enough to try to rape them one more time. Because talking is out of the question. You either come and make love to us, or we're going to rape you. But no talkie-talkie. No Twitter, no communication, no respect, no recognition, no talkie-talkie. You either come, we make love, or until the next time we have enough wealth to try to rape you one more time. Seriously? Even the cannibals should be welcomed in Twitter if you want to change them.